The following podcast contains alcohol-enhanced conversations about alcohol, as well as a potential for discussions about topics of dubious, disturbing, possibly offensive, but usually hilarious interest. The opinions stated herein are solely of the persons making them, and any endorsement of these opinions by any other party is not implied. Foul language is likely, but intolerant viewpoints are not. Listener intoxication is advised. Hello and welcome to episode 73 of the Whiskey Tangent Podcast. I'm Scott.
I'm Ed.
And after repeatedly breaking our promise at least half a dozen times to highlight the small craft Chicago area distillery, today we're finally, literally, having a few spirits. Of course, we did feature one of their one-off cast-strength single-barrel expressions just last month in our epic Lost Lantern ×7 episode number 73, but that whiskey was nestled among 6 other whiskeys from 5 other distilleries, so this time we'll be tasting 4 of Few's core expressions on their very own episode. And joining us on this long-gestating trip to the land of the Few, we have a few friends. First, Mayor Shavonne.
Hi, everyone.
As well as Pixie Sue.
Hello.
And Gabe in the background. Gabe, give a shout. But before we get to all the Few-filled fun, Ed will fill us in on the few Fews that we'll be filling our faces with tonight.
Thank you so much, Scott, as always. To start off as a base, if you will, we have their straight rye whiskey. This is one that you can find many places. It's reasonably priced, 93 proof. And then to put that whiskey into a twist, so to speak, their Immortal rye, also 93 proof. The key to this one is that they proof it down with oolong tea.
Ooh, long. That's long.
That's what Ed says to me in the locker room.
Oh, wow. Hey.
That's right. Sure. At the Whiskey Tangent locker room, right? In the building. Before we go out and play squash or pickleball.
We're taking showers later, ladies.
Oh, ladies.
Hey.
Yeah. I love to shower ladies. Anyway. And then we'll take a quick break from the ryes and we'll jump into their bourbons. We could have got their regular bourbon, but we decided to go out and get a single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, special selection, 101 proof. It'll be our highest proof of the day. And the last one will be their bourbon whiskey with cold brew coffee, also 93 proof. Their cold cut bourbon, the addition of the smooth cold brew delivers a boldness that leaves you asking for a refill or an Uber, depending on how much you
I think it's the new one at Starbucks.
Right. All right, so I have a few history, and the ladies have the descriptions for each whiskey, and here we go.
I think you should read it in your sexy voice.
In my sexy voice?
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes,
I
please.
can't.
We always get that.
But
so.
you don't have to read it in the sexy voice this time.
But you do.
Yes, you do.
My voice is already sexy.
That's right, baby.
All right, so here we go. In the quaint Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois, there exists a clandestine alley, one so discreet that even pigeons whisper about it in hushed tones. And the very cobblestones seem to harbor dark secrets, where a grain-to-glass distillery would emerge like a tipsy phoenix rising from the ashes of Prohibition. But this was not just any distillery, nay, it was the kind of place where whiskey barrels exchange saucy glances and gin bottles practice their dance moves when no one is looking. Let me regale you with the spirited, get it? Saga of Few. Back in 1893, Chicago hosted the Columbian Exposition, a dazzling event that introduced the world to a host of new and excitingly innovative products, including phosphorescent light bulbs, moving walkways, the Ferris wheel, juicy fruit gum, Cracker Jack, and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
and the King Cartel.
Wow.
But fast forward a few decades to the 1920s, and that spirit of innovation would come to a halt when Evanston became the birthplace of Prohibition, led by a feisty lady named Frances Elizabeth Willard, whose initials are F.E. W. Mm-hmm. One can just imagine her sipping an herbal tea in a cafe outside of Chicago while plotting the demise of the happy hour. In fact, even after Prohibition ended, the dry town of Evanston clung to the so-called noble experiment like a cat to a scratching post until 1972. Fast forward again to 2011, when one Paul Letko was inspired to build a distillery after the death of his grandfather, who owned a brewery in the Czech Republic before the Nazis invaded in 1939, and who was the only member of his family in Europe to survive. Additionally, the idea of creating spirits in the place where no spirit had been distilled in almost a century was uniquely appealing, like opening a bakery in a gluten-free neighborhood or starting a salsa dance school in Antarctica. And
Oh, wow.
so, down that dark alley, you'll find Paul and his crew nestled in an old chop shop where rusty wrenches might moonlight as cocktail stirrers, producing unique and flavorful grain-to-glass bourbons, rye, and other spirits aged to perfection with a bold Chicago twist.
Nice.
And the first one we're going to try, as Ed said, is the FEW Straight Rye, and I think it's Shavonne
Yep.
has the description.
Okay.
Born of hearty grain and patience, the generous rye content is married with the sweetness of corn for a genteel interpretation of the venerable spirit. Aged in air-dried oak barrels, its spicy character transcends near resurgence. Behold, the renaissance of rye.
Renaissance. The Renaissance.
Renaissance.
Right, so this is 93 proof. As Ed said, the mash bill is 70% rye, 20% corn, 10% malted barley. It's aged at least 4 years. The price on their website is $56, but I bought this at Rastelli's just down the street for $34.
I've seen it for 40.
Yeah.
Until I got the single barrel that I bought today. I've never paid over 50 for a few products.
You can find it cheaper in your area, probably.
Yeah. Paul does his best to give you a bargain.
Yeah. Take a sniff. Oh,
I immediately get tons of summer fruit.
yeah.
Okay.
It's very fruity, especially for rye.
Vanilla.
Okay.
I get cinnamon.
Definitely cinnamon. I'm getting a little like peaches or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the face you make because you don't like peaches.
I don't.
So I think it's just like, you just can't help it.
I don't want it to be peaches.
Right.
It's funny. I love peaches. That's so funny. You don't like peaches.
Yeah,
peaches.
I mean, like a really super ripe peach is fine, but when it's a little less ripe,
It's-
I
yeah.
can't take it.
No,
yeah.
it's like peach should never snap.
Yeah, yeah. It
Apple
should squish.
snap, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the proof?
93.
Okay. I get a little ting.
It's a very alcohol forward is what I'm getting.
Okay. It's a really, I think, pleasant nose, but it has interesting notes to it.
Got some additional floral notes after I can get past the tropical notes is what I call them.
It has a bit of a perfumey kind of aura to it.
Now I'm getting drywall. Anybody else getting drywall?
Like a papery, dusty kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it.
Let's take a taste.
Smooth.
Ooh.
Very smooth.
I literally forgot this was a rye.
Yeah, I'm going to have to taste this again because it went down so fast and smooth. I was like, oh, that was lovely. Like, well, wait, let me try it again.
It has a bit of a bite.
It does. It's very peppery at the end.
Yeah.
I'm very spicy at the end. I'm tasting a lot of what I smell, though. Cinnamon's even more prevalent to me now.
I'm tasting almonds.
Almonds. Yes. I can taste that. Like an amaretto.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's mixed with a touch of anise. There's clove.
Yep. I get baking spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's separate from the cinnamon.
Yeah, the clove, it's like really a darker. Like that's how I think of it, rather than cinnamon, which just seems a little bit lighter, happier. It's here at a party. Clove's just sitting in the corner acting like a douche.
Siobhan, did you get
Who
any?
invited them?
Who invited Clove?
There's such an attention seeker.
What?
Did you get any citrus? You were saying
Yes.
summer fruit.
I felt like summer fruit, like maybe like
I can't identify it, though. Like a little touch of overall citrus, and I don't know if I'm tasting peaches. Maybe
I wanted to say like pineapple,
peaches. I don't know.
maybe a mix of maybe a
I
watermelon.
am getting some oakiness now, though, in the taste. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's the drywall you were smelling. I'm not sure, but
There's an
Could be.
oakiness.
Oh yeah, because it's paper. So wood.
one day
Paper, wood. Yeah.
Now I'm smelling that oak. Now I'm able to get past the other two smells.
Yeah, because the taste that's in your mouth kind of backs up into your
Yeah,
nose
yeah.
after a while. Yeah.
I mean, for like a $50 whiskey, this is very good. And once again,
It's so unique.
grain to glass. It's
Yeah.
like, it's always interesting to taste grain to glass distilleries because they're just different than each other. Like,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna add some water.
Okay.
yeah, I put a couple drops and it took down the ethanol a bit.
I feel like this episode is going to, and does already, remind me of the Journeyman episode, where it's very particular taste profile associated with that area of the country. which
Okay.
is the whole thing that we did with the Midwest whiskeys on the Lost Lantern. The Journeyman did embody that. Sue, what are you thinking?
I added probably more water than most
Sure.
of you here.
No.
I was enjoying it without it, but I enjoyed even more because, of course, the water cuts through it, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the flavors more and not so much the bite at the end.
Yeah, it's not really high proof or anything, but
Yeah.
it does have a kind of punchy
Yeah.
herbaceousness at the end.
And that I wasn't enjoying
Yeah.
so much. I know some people do. My palate, I don't like that.
And then the
so-
water took that away from
and
you.
it did.
Okay.
So now I'm enjoying it a lot more. So,
right.
yeah.
I can taste 1984. And I can taste the waiting room of my pediatrician's office in East Orange, New Jersey. My doctor's name was Dr. Ford.
So like alcohol, Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like her doctor
Was an alcoholic.
like alcoholic.
I don't know. It just put me like in that space. Like that's like what the office like smelled of. So
Okay.
it's like it put me there. So
All
I'm
right.
thinking 84, 85.
I bet that's not in the tasting notes.
Right?
Shavonne's pediatrician.
Dr. Ford is probably not in the tasting notes.
All right.
Tongue
So
depressors.
on the nose,
Yep.
they say caramel, vanilla, brown sugar, cinnamon, and wood
Definitely got the cinnamon.
with subtle notes of butterscotch, pepper, citrus zest, raw grains, and roasted chestnuts.
Oh.
So somebody got
On the
almonds.
open
Interesting.
fire.
After I added the water, there definitely is a more peppery aftertaste.
I'm getting like an oregano on the nose now.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Buttery raw grains on the. This is the palate. Cinnamon, light orchard fruit, could be peaches, honey with baking spices, a touch of citrus, and a bit of wood. It's a complex arrangement of flavors that never stops moving, just like a bit of wood.
Yeah.
A little bit of wood.
Coming up on the finish, it's long and slow.
It's just begging us to make comments.
Starting with rye spice and progressing through notes of raw grains, ripe orchard fruits, baking spices, wood, and a real strange one to end it on the finish, banana cream pudding.
I taste the bananas.
Do you?
I do.
You put a lot of water in it though, so maybe that helps.
That probably helps.
To bring out the bananas.
There is a creaminess on the finish, I will say that.
I mean, it's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very different.
It's very strong too. Like
It is strong for 93
Is that a
proof.
very good review when somebody says different?
Well, it depends what you like.
And it depends on the tone too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a negative, like, well, you know, it's different.
Right? It was like, it's. This was like, oh, this is different.
I'm-
I like it.
different.
very,
All right,
I'm
all
very
right.
interested in how you take the next one because the Immortal Rye is very, very interesting. And we're ready, Scott, to move on to that one?
Sure.
Sue, why don't you tell us all about that?
Okay. Few revels in the atypical. We take our grain to glass, cask strength, award-winning straight rye whiskey, and bring it to proof with a cold extracted oolong tea.
Ooh,
No.
long.
Yeah. Insert that. There you go. For a rye of unusual delicacy and complexity. Period.
So the proof of this again is 93. The mash bill again is 70% rye, 20% corn, 10% malted barley. The age again is at least 4 years aged. The price 56, and I got it at Rosselli's for 34. Ed, you bought this though.
It was sub 50,
Sub 50. Okay.
48.
All right.
That is a way different smell than
Yeah.
the first one.
Getting
Very
cherry.
I got some very like vanilla
No, I'm getting
sweetness.
a strong cherry, like Shavonne.
Yeah, it's sweeter and darker. And,
Dark cherry, yeah.
and like baking scents, the
Graham
bread
cracker.
and graham cracker.
I think I'm getting Siobhan's almonds on this.
Okay.
Siobhan's almonds.
Well, I
Ooh.
mean, she smelled it last time. So I mean.
Shavamans.
Chevalmans. I like that. Or Shalmans.
Almonds.
Shamans.
She's going to cast a spell.
She already has.
Maybe I'm getting
Just
brown
very
sugar too.
Sweet,
brown
sweet,
sugar, anybody?
sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet on
I'm
the
going
nose.
through all the tasting notes that are sweet, so, and we're saying them all.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I'm trying to smell the tea.
Yeah, you think it would be more prevalent.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I smell strawberry.
Strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that because it's that really light, fruity sweetness, but it has like a little. Because strawberries sometimes aren't always
Right.
ripe, and they have that.
It's almost like that
Sharp
fake
scent.
Strawberry shortcake. You smell,
Okay.
like the
All
dog.
right. Oh, got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Because it goes with the baked goods and the vanilla.
I like it.
Yeah, good nosing note.
Let's taste it. Wow.
Ooh, that's so different. Just proofing it with tea instead of water. This is what you get.
You just think you'd have so much more of a tea flavor. It just tastes like a whiskey.
I'm tasting everything that we said on the smelling notes.
Okay.
But it's a very strong, peppery, spicy finish. More so than the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe green apple.
Oh.
I still think I'm tasting something nutty as peanut.
I'm getting so much cinnamon.
Yeah.
I'm getting even more cinnamon than was on the other one. Like a spicy hot cinnamon.
But just again, it's very sweet. It's a very
Oh my God. Now I'm totally getting the peanuts almost.
Okay, all right.
Like a honey peanut butter with a little bit of cinnamon in it.
I'm getting, like, if you were to make tea, instead of putting one, you put like an extra bag in there.
Okay.
So
But
you're
that's
tasting a lot of tea.
strong aftertaste of tea.
Oh,
which I
on the
like.
aftertaste.
Yes.
On the finish after it's gone.
I feel like it's a smoother taste. I feel
Okay.
like it transitions right in the middle of that, and it just,
Yeah, I agree.
and then it just goes right into like that tea mode. I was like, I've never tasted
I'm gonna
that
taste the
before.
first one again right now.
Yeah. If you guys have some of the earlier stuff, if you're not alcoholics and drink it all.
I think the first one tastes even better now.
Oh. Yeah. It makes it more vivid somehow.
Yeah, and sweeter.
Right.
And the peppery's down a bit
Yeah.
on the first one.
Right. It's not quite as harsh.
I feel like it's more aged.
It's fascinating.
Tasty notes.
Tasting notes. Yeah. Ed.
Pecan pie, walnut candies, maple syrup, and salted caramel on the nose. On the palate, more sweet pecan and walnut with root beer and red apples.
Root beer. Yeah.
So I'll taste, see if we get any root
Well,
beer.
the root beer is that spice kind of kick, like,
But also sweet and
Yeah.
oaky, woody.
The finish is medium length with accents of toasted hazelnuts, mocha, cinnamon sugar,
Mocha.
and barrel-aged tobacco.
Oh.
Which I didn't even know they aged tobacco in barrels.
I didn't know that
I
either.
know that.
Now with the tobacco, are they saying smoky?
No, I think they mean the actual unburnt leaf, what they make the cigars out of.
Oh, right.
Okay, I wouldn't know that.
Right. Gabe, did you bring a cigar? Can Sue smell your cigar? Oh. Gabe's tasting it. It's weird, right?
Ooh, long.
It's fun though. You don't have to whisper. You can actually talk.
Yeah, you can talk.
He said he likes whispering. Okay.
And whispering is great for the podcast. Anyway, so Gabe had a vocal cord accident at the gay orgy last night.
Oh my. Also called the Gorgy.
Wow.
Sorry I started.
I don't get it.
See, Ed. See what you started. Come on, baby. Didn't mean what you started. I'm incomplete.
That ain't the way to treat the broken-hearted.
Come on.
Finish it!
I love this song. Was there a reference point into what we were doing that led to that song? I don't feel like it fit anything we were doing.
Wow.
It's just a random song, which is okay.
But we do random songs.
No, I said, see what you started.
Right.
And I said, come on, baby. finish
See, that's why
Yeah.
I just want to know how to fit in. I was just out in the dark here. Shot in the dark.
Always got to bring Ozzy
See how
up.
it fits in? See how it fits in?
Oh, it fits in. Mm.
Oh, that's always what she says.
Whatever.
So on that note, we will take a break and then we'll come back with the other two expressions. The single barrel pick from Benash bourbon.
Wow.
Yep.
And the cold brew infused bourbon.
Okay, we're back. The glasses have been washed, refilled. We're about to take on the bourbons. First, Scott,
Yeah,
you got something to bring up to the group.
I do. So I have a little story. So as we've said before on the podcast, we did meet Paul Fletko, who was the founder of FEW Spirits. at the lounge. Anders, when he was still there, had organized it. It was a couple years ago.
Nice.
And I was talking to Paul.
As you do.
Near the bar before the tasting had started. And the whiskeys that we were tasting were on the bar. So I asked him, so, hey, Paul, what do you have for us to taste today? And I wasn't going to say the fews, blah, 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 ha, 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 because he's probably heard the few joke all the time. And he says, well, we have a few. So I'm like, okay. I was like, I wasn't going to say that to you because I felt like you heard it. And he's like, oh, no, I love dumb pun dad jokes.
Oh, that's perfect for Scott.
Yeah. And I said, I do too. And he said, do you want to hear my new favorite joke?
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to tell it.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Hey, did you guys hear that the Swedish military is thinking about putting barcodes on their ships?
No.
No, I didn't know.
I haven't.
Yeah. Apparently, it's so that when the fleet comes into port, they can just Scandinavian.
Wowzers.
Oh my God, I love it.
Isn't that a great joke?
That is a perfect dad joke.
I've been waiting 2 years to say that joke on this podcast. I just thought it was so hilarious.
I will also point out that he let us taste a very special bourbon,
He did.
the one that was made with Alice in Chains. Mm-hmm. It was 101 proof and finished for 6 months in ex tequila barrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
All secrets known bourbon.
That's it. Yeah, that was really good. Did we have the Immortal Rye?
No,
With him?
we had the regular rye with him. So
Yeah,
we had-
regular bourbon, regular rye. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
It might have been 3 years
That's
ago.
why it doesn't. We
during
don't
COVID.
feel bad that we are doing it now because we don't remember
No, we don't remember.
the taste complexity of that night and all that. In fact, I think we might have done the Immortal Rye. We definitely did not do the cold brew one.
No,
That-
definitely.
and I've never had this cast strength.
So these two bourbons are new to us.
Yes.
So all right. So Shavonne has the description for. It's honestly just for the straight bourbon.
Okay. This spirit, distilled through timeless liquor making techniques, utilizes a 3-grain recipe that infuses generations of Southern tradition with the spiciness of Northern rye and a touch of malt for smoothness. FEW is handcrafted through a small batch process in charred oak barrels to age its bourbon whiskey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are we talking about again?
I'm getting the vapors.
Vapors.
Okay. So the proof, as Ed said, was 101. The mash is 70% corn, 20% rye, 10% malted barley.
So it's the reverse of the rye.
It is the reverse of the rye. Do you know how long this was aged? Does it say on the bottle?
No.
Okay. Typically it was at least 4 years, but I'm thinking this might be aged a little higher. The price, though, Ed.
Well, I paid like 56.
Ooh, that's a good price.
But, you know, I might have got a little love from Banash. You know what I mean? I did buy a lot today.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting cherry wood.
Yeah, I get oak. Very good call, Shavonne. Cherries. Maybe like a butterscotch type of thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good. I'm getting a cinnamon, maybe
Well,
even
yeah,
a parfum in there
there's
somewhere.
spices all over this.
I was going to say toffee, but butterscotch is better because it's lighter than that. Toffee seems like darker, right?
I mean, they're really close.
They are close.
You know.
Funny, you guys can be so specific with the spices. I smell a spice rack, and I just can't. Which one I'm smelling right
She's like,
now?
I smell an everything bagel. So
I feel like you just all the spices just spilled over, and that's what I'm smelling.
I mean, it's really good. I just took a sip of it.
I'm getting grass as well.
so I took a sip of it too. The peanuts are really prevalent to me, like it was on the tea rye. Oh
Interesting.
my gosh, are you all right? Remember, this was 101 proof. This is a little higher than it was last time.
Wow.
I'm getting clove and cinnamon. I'm getting more like the butterscotch sweetness. Fruits.
Peanut brittle.
I'm not getting any peanuts.
Like-
Can't get the peanuts either.
Really?
No.
Did you have a peanut butter sandwich during the break?
What's going on?
I did have a chocolate donut. No.
I had a chocolate donut too.
Oh.
but, yeah.
This is really interesting. The cinnamon from the rye that we all tasted there is definitely on this.
A mix of spice and pepper at the end.
It's very spicy
Yeah.
for a bourbon.
It's the same grains as the rye, just inverted.
Yeah.
70% corn, 20% rye, and 10% malted barley, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting like vanilla now.
Okay.
The only problem is it has such a bite at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I just put some water in mine.
I'm just going to put some water also. I think that might help it.
I think it's going to...
Okay.
Yeah, because it is a little in your face when you first sip it, especially since we were drinking 93 proof before this.
I think it's a much more approachable now with the water on it. It's a lot sweeter.
Definitely. It tastes like a honey peanut butter to me now.
Yeah, I'm not getting.
You're not getting the peanuts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really getting peanuts. Gabe's saying also. Gabe is giving me a thumbs up.
I'm looking for him. I'm not getting it, which is really weird because normally you can talk someone into it. You know?
It's true.
I'm just getting more wood.
You're getting more wood?
Oh, can I have Shavonne's glass?
Woo! This is hotter. It is more in your face. I think I like the Immortal Rye a little bit better. Oddly, the Immortal Rye, both ryes tasted a little sweeter to me than this bourbon does.
This definitely tastes sweeter with water on it, though. I'm going to say
It does. It does. I might actually add a little bit more.
Yeah, I keep adding.
Yeah, you keep adding. Sue has poured half her bottle of
She's
distilled
not-
water.
She's
into-
62 proof right now.
What kind of barrels are these in?
A new American oak.
Yeah.
Just oak?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just new charred oak.
Big barrels. Yes.
Yep, charred oak.
Big wood
Ooh,
barrels.
hello.
Big bourbon barrel.
Big bourbon barrels, Bob.
Wow, what's happening? My ear.
Bye, Bob. Sorry. It's a private joke.
Inside joke.
Inside joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everyone who knows us will know that joke.
Yep.
Hashtag bye Bob.
It's just kids. So stupid. Nothing like doing inside jokes on a public podcast.
On a public podcast that nobody knows.
That's right.
Hey, maybe we'll drive engagement. You're like, what are you guys talking about with your bye Bob? I really want to know. Nobody cares.
Paul's listening right now going, can you just talk about the damn whiskey?
Yeah, Paul's like, guys, you told my joke, but now you're off the rails. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
And Paul's like, how come I didn't get to come on and do an interview? And I don't know, Paul. It just didn't happen.
I don't know, because Scott forgot. It even rhymes.
We got Sniff It Again, Jeff. And
Yeah, Scott forgot. Yeah, that's right. Smell it again, Jeff.
Smell it again.
Right, smell it again, Jeff.
That's the best. Do you want tasty notes?
Yes.
All right.
Please do.
So the nose, would you have rich notes of caramel, pine, and brown sugar
Pine.
with whiffs of nutmeg, marzipan, orange, cherry syrup, and cumin.
Cumin.
That's all,
Cumin.
that's all on the nose.
That's interesting.
Clove, cardamom, cinnamon buns, orange pith, and toffee with gentle floral touches and a dominant woody resin on the palate.
Shavonne is right.
You made me say woody resin.
I did.
Wow.
I don't know. Woody resin?
Wasn't he a character on Toys?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Woody. On the finish, we have medium length. That's fair. With oak shavings, warm spices, fennel, and a drop of coffee.
Yeah,
A drop
that's
of
that
coffee.
fennel. That fennel.
Fennel.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what was that early bite.
But no peanuts.
No
So
peanuts.
I'm just fucking wrong.
Or you're having a stroke.
The closest you have, Scott.
I smell burnt toast. What's happening?
Glass of lies.
You sip from a glass of lies.
The closest, Scott, is the marzipan on the nose, which is
Almond.
Almond. That's the only nut mentioned.
You can be size.
Hello, Gabe. Just hand it to her.
For those of you listening at home, Gabe is doing charades.
Gabe's trying to determine what Shavonne is saying. Sounds like
Sounds like, get me a fucking ice cube.
Gabe, you're allowed to talk. You
Yeah,
don't have to
what is
mime.
with the miming?
Okay, Marcel Marceau over there.
He's trapped in a box.
Oh, look. He's walking against the wind.
He's walking down imaginary steps. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's self-filleting.
My God.
My God. All right, yeah, let's move on. What do you guys think about this? This is actually very strange. This is very unique, but I like it.
I really like the peanut taste.
Yeah.
Scott,
God damn you, Sue. Stop trolling me.
I just got peanuts.
Did you?
I did. It's been sitting on a little water for a minute. I just took a sip and I finally got peanuts.
Vindicated.
That's the strangest thing that's ever
In
happened.
your face, Sue.
I can't believe it. I was about to mock you and it hit the back of my throat. I'm like, oh, wait, I do taste peanuts.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Peanuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hit the back of your throat. I'm just saying.
Wow. Wow.
All right. Shavonne, what are you thinking? It kind of evolved for you a little bit.
It's a no for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Couldn't get past the beginning taste.
You're okay.
Like,
You couldn't get past the nose
Yeah.
and the initial palate.
Correct.
So
And
adding water didn't really change anything
it
for you.
really didn't.
Okay.
So I passed it on to someone else.
Yeah. Ed, you like it?
I mean, I could drink this every day. It is different, but
Because he does drink every day.
this is what I chalk up to being those grain to glass distilleries.
Exactly.
They're going to have unique flavor profiles for their products, just like we see in Journeyman, just like we see in Balcones. We mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I would like to see it like on a globe and maybe take a little journey with it, different than drinking it the way we are. But
For a bourbon, it's not really what you expect from a bourbon. It's not as sweet as you want it to be. It's a lot spicier than you think it's going to be. And if you're going into this few expecting a regular bourbon, you're not going to get it. But if you have like a weird palate like I do, because I really like this, but I do recognize how different it is.
if you like Woodford Reserve, then that's great, but you're not going to like this.
No.
It's not a traditional bourbon flavor, but yet it has some notes of a traditional bourbon.
It does?
It's just a little bit more, I should say, for a complex palate.
Yeah.
More than a simple one.
Yeah, I'm basically right there with the I'm a bourbon, sweet,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't even think that this is a bourbon.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the proof way out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I've been adding more and more and more water.
Sue
It's getting light. It's like a light apple
Getting
juice
lighter
at
and
this
lighter.
point.
took the lid off her stopper and just dumped it in. But Sue's like a Shark Tank. It's not traditional. It's not what I'm looking for. So for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siobhan as well.
Siobhan didn't say that. Siobhan just said, I'm out.
I'm not investing in this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys did like the Rise, which was very interesting.
I mean, for me, that's kind of typical.
Yeah.
I would think
Yeah.
at this point
Well,
because
yeah.
I just love rye so much.
But Sue,
They were sweet.
yeah,
And they were lower proof.
They were lower proof.
they're very different.
I love the fact that 93 is lower proof to you now, Sue. I'm so proud of you. It's like, yeah, they're 93 proof. They're lower proof. Before you like, what's this, 80? Basil Hayden? Thank you.
All right, so I guess the last thing that we're going to taste is the Few Cold Cut Bourbon, and I think it's Sue
Yes.
has a description of that.
Okay. Cold cut. I feel like I'm at the deli counter.
Right, yeah.
Let me get a quarter
Some
pound
ham,
of
Virginia
turkey,
ham and salami.
thinly sliced.
Can I try that? Sir, it's turkey.
It's turkey. What are you fucking doing with me? Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm at a New York deli.
Oh, you want boar's head turkey? Oh.
Yeah, that's me. I only eat boar's head.
Well, you got to go over to Shavonne's Deli to get that.
Siobhan's belly, because she ate it already.
Because she ate it.
She only says she only eats boar's head. Listen to what she says.
Right, that's true.
She's not
That's
selling
true.
it into you.
Okay. Sue,
All right.
Cold Cut Bourbon description.
Okay. Few brews up an eye-opening new experience by taking its cask strength bourbon and proofing it down to bottling strength using cold brew coffee. The whiskey flavors still dominate, but the smooth cold brew delivers unexpected depth and a boldness that just leaves you asking for a refill.
Getting hot in here.
Wow.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your
Your
clothes.
shoes.
It is getting so hot, I'm gonna take
my
Sue's
shoes.
clothes off.
It went from a deli counter
To taking Sue's clothes off. The proof is 93. The mash bill is 70% corn, 20% rye, 10% malted barley. The same, aged at least 4 years, but cut with the cold brew coffee, as Sue said. The price, $56 on their site. But I got it, again, at Rastelli's for $34.
ding, ding,
you.
ding.
Wow.
And the price is right.
Sometimes
That's absolutely right.
Sometimes we're so just like, Chicky, y'all just come and take this, please. Like, we're done with this right now. Man, first thing I get on the nose is like brown sugar. It's sweet.
Yeah.
Anyone else get brown sugar? Or is it
Yep.
just me?
No, I get it.
do. Yeah.
It's got deep, dark
Yeah.
notes to it from, I guess, the coffee. I do smell coffee, but not as much as I thought that I was going to smell on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too. And I don't even know if I'm looking for it or not, you know?
Again, this doesn't smell like a bourbon. It smells a bit like a finished rye,
Yeah, I'm not getting the sweet aroma from the smell.
except for like the sharp brown sugar smell. But there's so much else there
yeah.
that's not bourbon centric.
Getting
I mean-
pear.
Pear. That's very nice. Like a stewed pear covered in cinnamon.
I got some pear on the taste. I just take a sip of it.
Green
Once
apple.
again, a little coffee, but not as much coffee as you think.
Yeah.
And more on the finish. I'm getting some notes I got from the other whiskey. So this essentially the same mash bill, right?
Yep.
Like a butterscotch, I'm getting. It's a very creamy mouthfeel. Like not oily at all. It's
Cocoa.
yeah, definitely a little cocoa, like a powder, not a candy bar or something.
I'm smelling cranberry too.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. It does have a very intriguing nose.
It does.
Chocolate, graham crackers, a little bit of coffee, not as much as you might think, having been cut with coffee.
I'm getting a little oak.
Oak is definitely there.
Oak there.
Yeah. After tasting it a third sip, the sweetness comes in. It's a cool surprise.
It finishes the same. I'm going to say all four of them. They all have that same pepper, spicy taste.
Yeah.
There's nothing different in the
You're not
finish.
wrong. Yeah, I think that might be the few taste profile.
But I'm getting a bitterness at the end. Is
Bitterness.
anyone else getting it?
Yeah, but that's almost like a bitter coffee.
Yeah.
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 But once again, it's amazing. Not as much tea as I expected on the Immortal Rye. Not as much coffee as I expect on this.
Yeah, so it's really subtle what they did to it, which I kind of appreciate because you don't really want, it's like it's cut with coffee. You don't want it to taste like coffee. You don't want it to taste like Kahlua you're drinking, right?
No, that's so true. It's so true.
You want it to give it some extra notes that it might not otherwise have.
Okay, now I just got coconut.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm actually getting a little fennel in this one.
I was going to say I tasted
On
fennel.
the finish.
I'm getting that on the initial taste.
I got that more with the water. It's coming through a little bit better.
Right, so fennel is sort of a spiciness that you might associate with a rye. It's weird, right? Oh, we have a one that Gabe doesn't like. Interesting.
It keeps getting stronger and wronger.
Stronger
And wronger.
I like it.
Right. But not longer?
Lingering.
It's longering.
Not in a good way.
Ed,
Yeah.
through the tasting notes.
Sure. On the nose, undeniably coffee and mocha scents with a hints of caramel, brown sugar, oranges, and nutmeg. Palate is creamy with oranges, plenty of spice, some latte macchiato, toffee, and pine. The second time they had pine with this whiskey, I haven't tasted
Don't
it yet.
taste the pine, no.
The finish is medium length with oak, spices, some chocolate, and of course, a little coffee.
Yeah, so it has a sharp herbaceousness there that I didn't identify as pine in particular, but I get what he's going after.
Yeah, I can taste it now. I just had it down as general herbaceousness, but no, I can see it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't see this as very complex.
Oh,
Really?
No, I'm not tasting the depth of all those notes that you just mentioned.
well, Sue just brought out her jacket and slapped it on all of us.
Right.
This isn't very complex. Sorry.
So simple.
That's great. That's why we like to have
Yeah.
people
No,
here with
it's-
different levels of experience.
No, it's an outstanding statement. It's not the most complex whiskey I've ever had, but for a $50 whiskey, I think it's really good.
I like it. I do. But again, like I said with the other bourbon, it's different.
I'm a bourbon drinker, and I'm not
You're not.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
I feel like Sue might bring suit against us for like, I expected to drink bourbons on the whiskey podcast. And I feel like I'm not happy. Somebody get me a bourbon right now.
It's not sweet.
It's not. Very true.
Scott, Sue's going to unionize.
I'm holding a sign right now
She's
for
gonna-
those of you.
She's Norma Rae over there.
It's one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Everybody's
That's a great
outside.
movie.
Everyone's outside the building in their jackets, just walking around in a circle.
Yeah.
Oh, the food's going downhill.
Yeah, if you're millennial or younger, you might not get that joke. But
Right.
all right, so the last thing we're going to do, we'll just talk a little bit about their other whiskeys that Few has on offer for us. They have a single malt whiskey. It's 93 proof, 100% cherry wood smoked malted barley,
Complex that, Sue.
baking spice, brown sugar, candied berries, watermelon, almond, chocolate, and fleeting smoke. $63.
They love their brown sugar, don't
They do love the brown sugar. Sue's like, well, why didn't you get that, bitches?
Oh, wow.
I like how you keep interjecting Sue's thoughts.
They have a straight American whiskey. It's 93 proof. It's a blend of their bourbon, rye, and single malt. Mint, caraway, ginger, dark chocolate, oak, and roasted lemon. $56.
Roasted
lemon.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I think maybe Shavonne would actually like that one because
You
it's got
guys
lemon
never
in
had
it.
a lemon that was like on the grill?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times with fish, they'll do that.
Like in a kebab or something.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Now I see.
Yeah.
With fish, definitely.
Yeah.
They have a bottled and bond rye and a bourbon. It's the same as their ryes and bourbons, but it's 4 years aged, 100 proof. Those are $60. And they've done 3 musical collaborations. One Ed already mentioned, the All Secrets Known with Alice in Chains. They re-released that last fall. It's regular bourbon finished in tequila barrels for 6 months, 101 proof. Prices are all over the place online. I've seen it from $35 to $385.
MSRP 60 for that.
Yeah. So buyer beware.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah. The other 2 they did with, did you guys ever hear the Black Rebel Motorcycle Club band?
No.
You have heard of them, Gabe. Oh,
That's,
right.
that's not.
No.
Okay.
It's not Black Label Society.
Thank you.
It's Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Yeah. It's not Zach Wild's band. It's called Motor Oil, and it's a blend of mesquite smoked wheat whiskeys.
Oh, my God.
And bourbons finished in rum and vermouth barrels. 101 proof, no longer even made, and I can't even find it on the secondary. The last thing I could see was from Cask Cartel. It was $130 out of stock. And then the Flaming Lips,
Yeah.
I actually saw them. Gabe, we saw them.
Flaming
Did you go to
Lips.
the concert at the Mann Music Center with me and Rich and somebody else to see Stone Temple Pilots? Flaming Lips opened.
The Flaming Lips open.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Oh, Sue, she gets the crown. Oh, love it. It's called Brainville, I think after a song or an album of theirs. It's regular rye mash bill, but fermented using French wine yeast.
Oh, yeast is so good.
80 proof, no longer made. It's 110 to 172 on the secondary. And that's all. We tasted everything, and those are all the other whiskeys that we didn't taste. So overall, Shavonne.
I really like the ryes. I probably would have to taste them again before I decide if I would buy them, but I know they have other, so I wanted to make sure I give them a fair shot, so maybe I'll try something else in the future.
I see. Yeah. Sue, you also like the ryes, but not the bourbons.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that's all you're going to say?
No, it's just my palate. I prefer more sweet. The 100 proof was way too much for me.
Yeah.
Even with the water, it helped. But I'm just saying that's not
Yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
I speak more to those beginner novice whiskey drinkers that are taking baby steps. And if that's you, I don't think this is where you should start.
No, certainly not.
So.
This is not a beginner's bourbons or ryes. Right. Ed? The only people that really matter, me and Ed.
No. I'll be honest, I always keep a bottle of Immortal Rye around the house. I like it.
You do?
I think once again, we have to remember that the price of these are pretty reasonable. I do think the bourbon's a little youthful, but if you can get it for $40, then you're not going wrong. It's got great flavor. I thought the 101 is a perfect bourbon for me. That's right in my wheelhouse of where I like my bourbons to be proofed. It definitely has a different taste. And I'll just say for someone who drinks so many whiskeys, sometimes for me, different is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is different. I can absolutely see why the ladies didn't like it, but it's got some elements and spices and stuff that you don't normally find in a bourbon. And then I think that's the uniqueness of dealing with the grain to glass at that particular distillery. They use their yeast, their grains. So when it's 70% corn and 20% rye and you switch it, it's the same elements. You know what I mean? They're just lower in one and higher in the other.
Yeah.
So
You know, I totally agree with you. The fact that you and I, having tasted so many whiskeys, we liked it because it was different.
yeah, my prediction was that they would like the Immortal Rye the best
And I think that was true.
because it's so different. And it's,
Immortal Rye
it's
best.
just got a delicious flavor to it. that-
Honestly, I think I liked the Immortal Rye best.
Yeah.
We all are in agreement. The few Immortal Rye, go out and get it.
Now, if I had to choose the second one, it probably would be the single barrel bourbon.
Yeah.
Then I go back to the regular rye, and then I go to the regular bourbon.
Oh, interesting. I don't know what I would choose as my second two. I think I like the cold brew better
Just
than
to piss off Gabe.
the barrel strength bourbon.
I like it better than Gabe.
The tasty notes, you know.
Whatever came in last, Gabe is fifth.
Wait, Gabe, come over here. Let's lick you. Let's lick you. Come here. No, get out of here. What are you doing?
Ew, pull your pants up,
Pull your
you freak. You freak.
But, you know, this did, I think, go the way that I thought it was going to go, just like the Journeyman episode, where things were very interesting because of the terroir of the local grains and stuff, just what you were saying, Ed. And
Wait, I'm too busy passing out dictionaries to the rest of us.
dictionaries?
Wow, you're reaching now.
Yeah,
And don't reach for mine.
Hey.
All right, on that note, Ed, take us out.
Hey, we want to thank FEW Spirits for their tremendous effort to come up with new and interesting whiskeys. It was great to meet Paul a while back at the local lounge in Mount Holly. He's a great guy. I mean, if you met him, you'd love him. And he has a real passion for what he does there. I think that's what skews me a little bit towards the distillery because I know that he is doing this as a labor of love. And so I really had a great time tonight. I want to thank everyone for coming on, Gabe for hanging out in the background.
Hi, Gabe.
And of course, Sue and Shavonne for doing what they do. And
Thanks, ladies.
Scott for all his hard work and research on the distillery.
Thanks, Scott.
And so definitely go out and try a few. You know, if you can find a bottle of Immortal Rye, you're not going to be disappointed. But any of the FEW Spirits are going to be something worth drinking. And so for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Shavonne.
And I'm Sue.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.